Hello, I'm Charlotte and this is Books and Bargains. Welcome to part 2 of Victoria Controls My TBR. The eagle-eyed among you will know that I have literally just finished filming part 1 about 30 seconds ago, and I have come on here now to sit and film reacting to the next clip that she has sent me. So the state of play at the end of last video is that I had finished 3 books. I was currently reading 3 more books, and I had 2 books picked to read. So that is 5 books in total that I am either currently reading or need to read soon. However, after today is Friday the 16th, I have got 7 days off work, which I need so badly. I'm going to try and get ahead with filming some of September's content, but also I'm going to take a nice long reading time every day, hopefully. So the books that I'm currently reading, The Madwoman's Ball is quite thin. I'm still finishing Pride and Prejudice. I'm reading the Dictionary of Lost Words and I'm really enjoying the audiobook of that. So I'm going on a little adventure next week to Birmingham. So I'm definitely going to listen to that on the train. And then both of the books that my cat's picked, if you didn't see that in the last video, please go watch it. It is so cute. Are both, again, really small. So I thought I would get ahead of myself by seeing what Victoria's picked for me next. So let us hand over to the one and only Victoria.
I'm having way too much fun choosing these prompts for you. Okay, so my next prompt is for you to continue a series. I am someone, I've been labelled a completionist before, and I definitely am. Once I start a series, if I'm really enjoying the books, I will want to finish it, or I'll decide fairly quickly and DNF it. But either way, I will kind of complete it in my head. So I would like you, I know you're in the middle of several different series, I would like you to pick one of those and read the next book in the series. And then the next specific book I've chosen for you is One by One by Ruth Ware. This is a book that again has been very decisive. It's a thriller, so I think it'll be a nice fast read for you, and I want to see what you make of the twists and turns. I know that you've read some Ruth Ware before and had some that you've really enjoyed and some that you've hated, so we'll see where this one lands for you. So yeah, good luck and have fun.
Right, so when Victoria said continue a series, I straight away thought, oh, I'm going to read Helen Field's Perfect Silence, I think it is. But now I'm not so sure because I'm going to be reading One by One by Ruth Ware. So I suppose I could read them one after the other, but I don't want to be reading 2 thrillers in one go. So let me just go and have a look through my shelves. I will definitely find One by One. And then series. Oh, oh, okay. Let me go and have a look, see if I spot anything else. But I think I know in my brain which one I'm going to read. So One by One should be down here, as these are my there it is, thriller mystery shelves. So that's that one. Series. And obviously she said continue a series. I've got quite a few series that I want to start, but I don't know if that classes as a series. I don't think it does. Obviously that's an option. I know you probably can't even see me right now, but oh, actually, yeah, that's not continuing because I've read. So the one that I was looking at was Clean by Juno Dawson. But then I remembered that I've actually read the 3rd book, not the 1st and 2nd, so I don't think that would count. So this is going to require a little bit more thought, I think. Again, that would be so. Oh, I know exactly what I can read if I can see it. This is hard because I can't see the book that I was thinking of. I'm thinking that I could read the next in the Julie Kaplan series, and then that would be a really good ebook as well. Because I do. Oh, here we go. Yeah. So for continuing the series, I could either go fluffy with The Secret Cove in Croatia, or I could go dark with Perfect Silence, or I could read both. But yeah, I will definitely read one by one first as the thriller. Really looking forward to that. Like Victoria said, I have had mixed feelings with Ruth Ware. I Let me just get a story graph up on, because I'm not sure how many I have actually read. It's either 2 or 3. There's 2 that I can think of off the top of my head that I've definitely read. I think I might have read a third one. Yeah, the one that I really didn't like was The Woman in Cabin 10. Now, I'm sure if I'd have read that at the beginning of my reading journey, I would have loved it more. But there's just these really bad descriptions of someone stopping antidepressants and kind of straight away getting all these effects. For the record, I didn't take my antidepressants last night because I forgot to take my other pills and I can't take them too close together. And I've had no effects today. It does not work as quick as that. Yeah, The Turn of the Key I loved. And I think they're the only 2 that I've read. Yeah, so this might be a real kind of. I've got this on my TBR, and I've got The It Girl by Ruth Ware, and In a Dark, Dark Wood. But this, who knows? This may be the deciding factor on whether I keep Ruth Ware in my collection or not. I know that I'm going to love Perfect Silence, and I know that I'm going to love Secret Cove in Croatia. So, yeah, let's see what I actually do. Before I can even pick up any of those, I need to finish. I need to finish The Mad Woman's Ball and my 2 cat books. So I will try and take you along on my adventures this week. I know I said that last time, and then I got so stressed about having this tooth out. So with looking after Nana, we're very split in the times that Tom can actually take me places. So he took me to the town where my dentist is, like 3-4 hours before my appointment. So I thought, I'll have something to eat, I'll have a look around the charity shops, I'll go and sit in the library and read. But I was just getting more and more stressed. And then in the end, they managed to do 2 fill-ins, no problem. But this tooth that needs to come out, she couldn't do it. So it's got to be referred to the specialist. And my whole cheek here feels like I was beaten up by the dentist. So yeah, I'm going to go and get ready for work. And then I will come back to you when I have anything exciting to share. So it is the 18th of August, I think. It's Monday, whatever that is. Oh, 19th. I can see it right in front of me. And for this challenge, I had thought that I was just going to pick up a book at a time, finish that book, put it down. But as I've very quickly established about myself, I need mixed media and mixed genre. So I need to be happy to have about 3 to 5 books on the go, and they have to be spread across physical books, ebooks, and audiobooks. Some of them, like the Dictionary of Lost Words, I am listening to on Spotify on audiobook. I have a NetGalley and I'm picking up the physical copy, so that also does happen. So, with that said, oh, before I get into watching the last clip from Victoria, I have got 3 books to talk about with you. I have DNF'd Pride and Prejudice. Now, this isn't a full DNF. This is I'm going to put it on my shelves from when I'm in a better headspace. I am having a tough month, and this is one that I have to concentrate on too hard, so it's hurting my brain. I do still want to read it in the future, but for now, it's just going to have to go back onto the shelves. But then 2 that I have finished and really enjoyed. First of all, Poppy's Place, which was Ernie's pick, and this is a cute middle grade. I read this cover to cover in about an hour, and yeah, really enjoyed it. Would really like the next book. Went on to World of Books, it wasn't there. And on Amazon, the only copies of it are like £50. So I don't know why book 2 in this series is super rare, but I'll be looking out for it at charity shops. And then one of Victoria's picks, which I've given a 4.5 star, only because I wish this book was slightly longer. This is The Mad Women's Ball by Victoria Mass, and I really, really enjoyed this book. Haven't been able to put it down for a few days. Tom had also read this one. This is why this was on my TBR, because Tom and his friend read it, and then I stole it off him. Like I say, it's a really, really short book based on historically accurate things, and it just shows how women were not treated the same as men years ago. Content warnings in this one for kind of graphic medical scenes and medical trauma, but I really enjoyed that one. Like I say, it's a really short book. I might have to think on this one before I give it a proper review, because I know that sitting here just going, I really like this one, isn't very helpful. But I'm not a big historical fiction reader, as Victoria will attest to. There have been some historical fictions that just don't interest me. However, this, The Sin Eater, and The Pull of the Stars by Emma Donoghue are all in that kind of medically historical. That's something that I'm really interested in, like medicine through the ages. So yeah, let's go over to Victoria now and find out what my last 2 books are going to be. And then I should finish all of these books by the end of August. I think I've already mentioned that I go to Birmingham for a couple of days on Wednesday. I will have an hour on the coach on Wednesday. I don't know why I'm still holding that up. Wednesday night, I plan to have a really chilled night with a bath and a book. Thursday, I probably won't read very much because I'm going to see my nieces and nephews, and they are all little. So it's going to be a busy day. But then Friday again, coach back. So we'll see. Let's go over to Victoria now and see what she has for me.
And finally, unless you ask me for some more prompts, if you race through all of these in the month, I would like you to read a book with a 3-word title. That prompt came from Instagram. I think that was Laura. And the final book that I've chosen, specific book that I've chosen for you, is Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston. I can't believe you haven't read this book. I feel like it'll be right up your street. Middle grade, and it's kind of a School for Spies. I read it a couple of years ago. I need to continue the series and take my own advice and continue a series. But yeah, I was really surprised to see that this was on your unread pile, because I feel like it'd be right up your street. So yes, my next specific pick for you is Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston. Have fun and happy reading. Good luck.
So I have just looked at this little pile that I have here. Let me see if I can lift it up. I have like this and a little pile underneath it of books that I want to read. And I'm like, oh, versions of a girl. What is 8 Doctor? Things we do for love. It's like, Person Unlimited. So I'm going to have Victoria's pause face here is so smug again. So let me go and find Amari and the Night Brothers, and also have a look for a 3-word title. There's one that I can see up there. But yeah, I'm trying to think before I go over there, like what sort of genre am I feeling? Because I'm about to read One by One by Ruth Ware, which is a 3-word title, but I'm sure that would be cheating, seeing as Victoria gave me that as a like specific prompt. Give me a minute. I say give me a minute. I'm going to leave it recording while I go over here again. Oh, that could work. Where is Amari? Amari's there. There's a couple of 3-word titles on my middle grade shelf. Bear with me, because I just need to go to the toilet. So in true Books and Bargains style, I've picked up a pile of books for 3 letters. Now, 3 letters, 3 words. So, one of the things I really like about my TBR is I like the kind of uniformness of paperbacks. So, all these books are either ones that are what is the word I'm looking for? Like odd size paperback. So this first one, We Are Okay by Nina LaCour, is a YA that I've had on my shelves for such a long time, and it is taller than a normal paperback. Then I've got Say by Lila Savage, which is a small hardback. I've got Concerning My Daughter, which I think Emma from Drinking by My Shelf spoke about quite a while ago, about how this is about a mother coming to terms with her daughter being gay, I think. Then I have a proof copy of Delhi Weds Destiny that was given to me by a friend ages ago. I have my proof copy of A Marvellous Light by Freya Marske, which I just haven't been able to get into, so I need to either give it a good go or get it off my TBR. I have The Deathless Girls, which I think Victoria Unholden gave to me ages ago, I think. Yes, because it has an Amazon note in it that it was Victoria's Secret Santa, so it definitely came to me via Victoria. And then I've also got These Impossible Things by Salma Al-Wadani, and it says a beautifully written, thought-provoking book from a talented feminist author. So I will pick up one of them, but right now I'm not sure which one, so I'm just going to leave this little pile on my desk. And I am just going to go and get into bed, and I don't know whether to keep reading She and Her Cat. I'm a bit on the fence about that one, or whether to start something new. So you'll know by my next clip. We don't make any decisions ahead of time here. So the last time I spoke to this vlog was around 2-3 weeks ago, and I just fell out of vlogging again. I am the world's worst booktuber. But today I have come to film my TBR tackle video, which I think you will have already seen by the time you've seen this. And I just thought, no, before I film that, I'm just going to sit down and finish the Victoria Controls My Reading vlog. So I believe that when I left you, I was deciding on what to read for my 3-word title. And I didn't read any of the ones I showed you. I actually went for The Prison Doctor by Dr. Amanda Brown and read this and absolutely loved it. This has been on my TBR for way too long. I thought this was really good. I think I was in the mood for this because me and Tom have been rewatching Bad Girls from the start. I say rewatching, it's a rewatch for me, as I have been obsessed with Bad Girls since I was like 16. Actually even younger than that. I was probably watching it before I was old enough to really be watching it. And something that's come to my attention that I wasn't going to talk about here, but it's just been bugging me a little bit, and it just really cements now like why I didn't twig that I was bisexual till a lot later. And it's because I think in Bad Girls there are a couple of characters, if you watched it obviously you will know Nikki and Helen situation, but Helen has a couple of boyfriends along the way, but it's never like mentioned that she's bisexual. The same as Shell Dockley, she has been married with children and has girlfriends, but the word bisexual is never really mentioned. And a lot of the queer characters in it are seen as like immoral or like wrong in some way. There's a storyline later on, I don't want to spoil if you haven't seen it, but it involves a male prison officer, and it's just one of those things that I'm not thinking too deeply about it, but it really does show you like how what you consume in the media does affect yourself. But yeah, so like there were Nikki in it is a lesbian, and yes, she does get stick for that from other prisoners, but also like I kind of think that even when I was watching that in my head, you were either gay or straight. There was no kind of in between. Yeah, I'm rambling now. But the prison doctor, this is not about sexuality in the slightest. This is Dr. Amanda Brown working in some of Britain's most notorious jails, and I really enjoyed this. I really like books that take me places that I wouldn't get to go in my life, e.g. inside a prison. I say I wouldn't get to go, you never know, but as in it, I like looking at healthcare, especially through different lenses. I've got a book that I'm going to read this month called What is a Doctor, and it's a GP's prescription for the NHS. And yeah, really enjoyed this. I also read The Dictionary of Lost Words by Pip Williams, which as we stand at the moment is my favourite book that I have read this year. This is a book that Victoria specifically told me to read. It's also one that's been on my TBR for too long. I did have a NetGalley, didn't read it, ended up getting a copy, a finished copy, didn't read it, and I just don't know what is wrong with me. This book, I would say this, along with The Paris Library by Janet Skeslin Charles, are the only books that incorporate war fiction that I can deal with, that I can enjoy, because they're about, there's a brilliant quote somewhere in this, and I did write it down, but I bet I'm not going to find it now, and it's something about, it's talking about the suffragette movement, and it's talking about how to use your own talents to some things. So for example, they're talking about how Emily and Pankhurst's ladies are quite bold and loud and go on hunger strikes and things like that in their way, but also this has got the power of the dictionary and words, and how these women can also be activists. It's kind of like there's not one way of being an activist, and I really enjoyed that stance of it. The main story of this is the creation of the dictionary, and I would highly recommend that if you read this, you read Pip Williams' author note at the back, because it goes through and tells you which parts of this are based on real people, which bits have been fictionalized, and I think the word's enthralled by this. It made me laugh out loud at times, and it also made me cry. And it was one of these books that we're following Esme from not birth, but I think she's about 5 years old at the beginning of this, all the way through her life, everything that she goes through, and how words and the dictionary help her make sense of things. And it was just absolutely stunning. 5-star read, and this one will definitely be staying in my collection. I didn't say this one will be leaving my collection, because it's just not one that I think I'd reread, and if I did reread it, I could easily pick it up. And yeah, this one is definitely staying. That is going on my red bookshelves up here, and we definitely want to read this one again in the future. And then another book that Victoria, actually I think most of these now are ones that Victoria physically told me to read, and that was Amari and the Night Brothers. If you like middle grade fantasy, the chosen one kind of trope, I really loved this, and I really want to read the next book straight away, but as you'll see in my TBR project, I've got other kind of things that I need to do first. So how do I describe this one? I can't really say much more than it is magical. Main character Amari, her brother has gone missing, and she receives this suitcase from him which explains his disappearance, explains that there is this supernatural world, and she is invited to this summer camp, and it's just an adventure. I don't want to tell you any more than that, because I think especially with middle grade, when you read it as an adult, anything you say could be a spoiler. So I'm going to leave it there, but I gave that 5 stars as well. Really enjoyed it. I'm going to keep this one in my collection But now, am I? No, I'm going to let this one leave my collection because I think that this... No, I don't know. I'm going to keep it for now. This is another thing that I'm going to talk about in that video, is that I just need to not make decisions that I'll later regret. I need to kind of have this middle ground by like, I'm keeping this for now and we will in the future reassess that. I also read Picked by Victoria, One by One by Ruth Ware. Now, I really enjoyed this. She got me to read this one because she knew that I'd been hit or miss with Ruth Ware. I have read, I think this is my third Ruth Ware. So I first read The Turn of the Screw by Ruth Ware, really enjoyed it. I then read, no, The Turn of the Key, I think. Turn of the Key, Turn of the Screw, something like that by Ruth Ware, and really enjoyed it. I think I gave it 4 or 5 stars. Then I read The Woman in Cabin 10, which Victoria had read years ago and really enjoyed. However, I really didn't like the way that mental health was portrayed in it, and I think from talking to Victoria and other booktubers, it's the kind of thing that if they read now, they'd think kind of the same as me. But this was just really cleverly done. I like these. This is set in the Alps, I think. It's a luxury chalet in a ski resort, and they get snowed in, there's a murder, and it's that closed in murder mystery that I like. I flew through this. I didn't want to put it down. In fact, I had to stop reading this at night because I kept staying up way past my bedtime. So I was like, just one more chapter, just one more chapter, just one more chapter. I think I gave this a 4 star. I don't think it was quite a 5, but it's kept Ruth Ware on my shelves. I think on my shelves I've got In a Dark, Dark Wood, The It Girl, maybe one more. No, I think it's just that now. I think In the Dark, Dark Wood and The It Girl, which I'm going to read both. This won't be staying in my collection. I'm really getting better at getting rid of thrillers because generally don't reread thrillers. I'm thinking about rereading Claire McIntosh's I Let You Go because Tom's reading it at the moment, and every few chapters he's like, oh, such and such has just happened. I'm like, I don't remember that. So I think some thrillers I think I could reread like a good few years in the future. It's got to have been about 5 years since I read that, but only if they're 5 star. I think there's enough thrillers that come out every year that I don't need to hold on to ones that I don't think I'm going to reread. And then the next 2 books, I don't think I've spoken to you about here, but if I watch back and find that I have, I will just delete this clip. But I read The Secret Cove in Croatia, which was Victoria's prompt was to continue a series. I'm reading the Julie Kaplan series, and this was one of those that I've given it a 4 star because there was just a couple of things that absolutely bugged me, even though I loved most of this. And the big thing was the theme of running through of, we have our main character Maddie, who is described as kind of curvy and voluptuous, and in my head it's Alison Hammond because it was a Brummie. It was a Brummie. She was a Brummie. It really didn't fit with the description of her because she's meant to be blonde and everything, but I listened to this partly on audiobook and I couldn't shake the image of Alison Hammond out my head, so just go with me on that one. But then she was kind of pitted against this thin model. There was a storyline of an eating disorder in this that was kind of, I don't know whether it's just because I've had experience with that myself, but it was kind of alluded to early on and I knew where it was going, but I didn't think it was resolved well. And yeah, these 2 characters were just kind of pitted against each other the whole way, and it didn't sit right with me. This is set on a yacht, and there were some truly awful characters, but I kind of liked them. But yeah, the descriptions of Croatia and the food and the scenery and everything like that fits perfectly well with what I've come to expect from these Julie Kaplan books. I am going to hold on to this one because I'm collecting the series, but that's about all I can say about that. And then last but not least, I read She and Her Cat, which Victoria told me to read a book with a cat on the cover, and I got my cats to pick, and this was Bert's pick, I think. I was a little bit on the fence about this one. I did like it. This is like interconnecting stories of cats basically, and there was this one passage that I messaged Victoria like, oh my god, that really got me, and it was about it's talking about a woman who is caring for her mother-in-law, I think, and it says something about you have to be able to give care without losing yourself, and that really like sucker punched me. But I think I gave this a 3.5 in the end, and this won't be staying in my collection, so that will be donated to the charity shop. I've got a nice big pile up there for charity shops, but I do recommend this one. Did enjoy it, but I just don't think that I would reread this one. So that is it. That is a whole month of Victoria controlling my TBR. And do you know what? I have found some absolute crackers in there. I would say that let's have a look at the ones that I've read. The only one that I would say that I didn't enjoy was Detransition Baby by Tori Peters. And even that, I still was intrigued enough by it, but I just didn't get what I was hoping for. I obviously DNF Pride and Prejudice, but I will go back to that when I'm in a better headspace. And the books that Victoria told me to read specifically, I think she definitely knows me quite well, because Detransition Baby, she said she just wanted to see what I thought, and I think we came to about the same conclusion. One by One I enjoyed, Amari and the Night Brothers I really enjoyed, The Mad Women's Ball I enjoyed, but yeah, the top book from this has to be The Dictionary of Lost Words by Pip Williams, and this gets like gold star, chef's kiss, 5-star, books and bargains, seal of approval. And yeah, I hope that Victoria enjoyed doing this as much as I have, and I hope you guys have enjoyed watching the vlogs. I am going to, like I say, go and film this video now. If it's already live, or when it goes live, I will leave it below, because we have some big 5-year plans for this TBR, guys, and hopefully there will be more videos like this going forward. So let me know what you've enjoyed about it. If you've made it to the end, well done. Give me a sunshine emoji below, because looking out the window, the sun is still shining, but it's nice and cold, so it's my perfect weather. And until next time, look after yourselves. Bye.